This podcast is supported by patrons. You can find a full list of them in the description of this episode. Hello, listeners and viewers of BSS World podcast. This is Wiktor Doktor calling to you from Poland, from Warsaw, and I am connecting again with Ukraine, with my guest, who is Ruslan Seredyuk, Chief Engineering Officer from ELEKS. Hi, Ruslan, how are you?
Hi, Victor. Doing good. How about you?
So far, so good. So tell me where you are based now.
So right now I'm in Ukraine, western part of Ukraine, where actually our company was founded. So I'm in Ivano-Frankivsk. It's south east of Lviv. It's a big city in the western of Ukraine.
I haven't been to that city yet. I've been to Lviv, so quite close, but not to the one which you have mentioned. Usually when I talk to the companies who are based in Ukraine, we start with a chat about what is the condition of IT industry in Ukraine nowadays. So how is it from your perspective?
Well, you see, I think according to our local statistics in the first half of the year, the revenues in IT industry dropped around 10% year over year. However, I think we are at the level of the 2021, so not so bad taking into account the current conditions. So that's one thing. Another thing is that many companies from Ukraine right now are looking for some other destinations for their talents, and it's either Eastern Europe or Central Europe, or even such far destination like Latin America. So it's pretty, I would say, many challenges and many new directions in our work. If you look what is different, especially comparing to the 2021, in Ukraine right now there are I would say two new streams of work for IT companies, and the first one is digitalization of the government sector. And right now, European Union, I think, investing around 17 or 20 millions into government digitalization programs, and there are many Ukrainian IT companies taking part in that. And also, the big growth is in Miltech industry, where IT companies also is participating. So I'd say that Ukrainian internal market of IT services is growing and opening for Ukrainian companies.
You mentioned about the new markets for Ukrainian companies like Western Europe or even the South America. If I'm not wrong, the expansion of Ukrainian IT industry has already started like maybe 15, maybe even longer time ago. So you as IT industry, Ukrainian IT industry, were choosing the Western Europe, and from this South American destinations, which countries are those? Is it Colombia or something different?
Well, I think many companies started the expansion in searching for talents to Europe. You're right, many years ago, but not all, because I think in Ukraine we still more than 200,000 of engineers, so it's pretty big internal market. So not all companies decided to make that step. But when the war started, all the plans that were hanging somewhere in the wardrobes came true, and companies started to move fast. And in Eastern Europe or Central Europe, it's of course Poland or Croatia or Spain or Portugal. So there are many locations. And in America, of course, it's Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, and those countries that, as many found out, have good talents. Those talents were more focused on the local market. So it's there are different challenges with at least English, but it's sometimes when you talk to the people, they say, "Oh, okay, it's Ukraine 10, 15 years ago."
I do hear this kind of comments from time to time, and as well as that Africa is becoming in bigger and bigger interest of some of the businesses. So maybe one day there will be a bigger expansion to the Africa continent. But let's now move to your company, ELEKS. This is very well known brand when it comes to the Ukrainian IT industry. Let's take a step back. When the history of ELEKS has started?
Well, it's really interesting and fascinating story. Actually, the company was founded in 1991 by two electrical engineers or who worked in Lviv Polytechnic University, and the company started as a product company, not IT outsourcing company, but rather product company that developed the product which is called the car, that the product for analysis and modeling of electrical networks. What's interesting, this product is still alive and is very, very needed in the current circumstances when you need rapidly renovate Ukrainian power stations. So that's how it started. And then after some time, founders understood that, well, there is another market which was growing at that moment, that was IT outsourcing market. And that's how companies started to grow. What is interesting that the company is not is not only IT outsourcing, but the company still likes to create own products. That's how another product, which is called Dr. ELEKS, was created, and this is the big medical management system. And this system also spans not only in Ukraine but in some other countries. And well, we have a couple more products. So and I think uh, we as a company, we were one of the, well, the first IT companies in Ukraine at that moment. Recently, there was a movie which is called First Code, and there were many words of our founder in that movie, because this is how Ukrainian IT industry started.
Yeah, I can imagine that 1991. Come on, this is 32 years already. So I can imagine you were, if not the first one, then one of the first, definitely, of the IT companies who were born in Ukraine. So 32 years are behind us. How big Alex is at the moment?
Well, at the moment, we have more than 2,000 colleagues. They are spread over 15 different offices. We have 4 offices in Ukraine. We have two offices in Croatia, two in Poland. We also have a pretty big staff in US, UK, Germany. So we recently opened Japan, which is
This is not so obvious.
correct. And of course, we've been looking at Latin America. So we kind of spanned over many regions and countries.
Yeah, that was my question. If you are already in Latin America, but you said you are now looking at this destination. Okay, so let's take a look on the industries who you are working for. Is it possible to define them? Are there some industries which you prefer more than the others?
Well, historically, we mostly serve financial logistics industry. That's I would say two main. However, right now we also looking at energy industry. Why energy? Because we were founded as a company with product related to energy. Right now, energy is quite let's say trending market and market that is changing. We also have our sustainability consulting practice. That's all come around energy. So that's another market we actually are focusing right now and actually serving. Moreover, a couple of years back, we actually bought a product that we originally developed for our clients, but we ended up buying it. And this is product that shows and analyze the uh, gas transition within the Europe. So you can, as a trader, you can actually see how much gas is in which storages and in what networks. So pretty interesting tool for Europe market, and you can imagine what was the demand for such tools. I think last winter or winter before that.
Yeah, I can imagine that, especially that Europe is very much dependent on gas. Yeah, this is one of the most important fuels which Europe is using.
Yes, yes. That's why we feel the energy is very important.
And also, you are in medical one with this Dr. Alex.
Correct. We are in the medical one, and also we are looking at the governmental sector as well.
Okay, so now we know the sectors and from where your clients are coming from. Are they more mostly based in Europe or in States or some other destinations?
Well, correct. The most of our clients, again, historically are based in states. So I think around 60% of our clients are from states. Then UK goes, then Europe, and then we have some clients in on Middle East, and even some clients in Japan.
Yeah, I'm so much curious about this Japan. This is not an, let's say, obvious destination.
Correct, correct. We never looking for easy ways, you know. So it is not obvious, but it's very interesting and challenging, I would say.
But how was it? Was it like that you just sat down with your board of management and just said, "Oh, Japan, this is a nice destination. We will go open there an office and so on," or was it rather the other way around that there was a potential client or someone like that, and he said, "Yeah, we have some needs in this area of software development and so on and so on. So maybe you will come and open an office in here."
It start as usually it started from the client, and then working more and more with the client. There was an idea why not to try, because you know in IT it's always about failing fast and trying some things. So that's how we tried that, and build the company with let's say local partners, trying to serve Japan market. And of course you need to have a local representatives and the local people to work on that market. It's not so easy to do that on remote.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that Japan probably is also one of the most expensive markets globally to do business.
Well, yes, but I think again, as I mentioned, it is expensive, and sometimes in terms of software development, on this market, companies are more like use the more standard waterfall methods of working. They don't necessarily understand agile, and that's nice on one hand and challenging thing on the other hand. So it's a fun.
Oh, I can imagine it is a fun. Let's take a look on your team. So you are a software development company, not only, but one of the things which you do is creating software for various businesses. What kind of languages are mostly used by your team? Is it .NET, Java, or something else?
Couple of years back at ELEKS, we had a slogan that said, "Technology doesn't matter, we do," and that's something we try to still keep in our values. But in general, of course, .NET, Java, and JavaScript are the most popular languages right now in the market, as well as at ELEKS. But we also have some, let's say, more older languages like C++, so that for some high load applications we use them.
You mentioned C++, and I just remembered that my daughter in her school is now learning C++, so an older language.
I was thinking, I was hesitating to say older language. I should rather say less used or less popular, right? Not older, because I think it's update, it get updated anyway.
Yeah, but as you can see, this is only showing the level of the education in schools. Yeah, that kids are being taught some languages which are older or less used than the others. Anyway, when if somebody is looking to work for ELEKS, what do you take into consideration from the perspective of the candidates who are interested in working for your company? Are there special skills which you are looking for?
Mhm. You see, recently we reviewed our interview success rate, and it was 1 to 30 or something like that. So 1 out of 30 people were accepted. We very picky in terms of technological skills, and it's a good thing about ELEKS and bad thing about ELEKS, because we are looking for people much longer than other companies. Sometimes it's crucial for the clients, but what can we do? And also, it's not quite, let's say, good for the for potential candidates, because usually they not up to the level we expect. So I would say the focus on the engineering excellence and hard skills, knowledge of the technologies, is was always the bigger value at ELEKS, and it is still is. So that's I think that's one of the things we really are passionate about. And then, of course, right now it's all about communication. So that is a second, I would say, pillar we are looking at, how person can communicate, because sometimes it's not always communication within the company, it also communication with the clients.
So, having that in mind, let's say I am applying to be an Alex employee and I am one of those 30 successful ones. We are now after a period of pandemics. You are also, as Ukraine, are facing war. What is the model of work within Alex? Do you have your people within the offices, or you are mostly focused on the remote work?
Yeah, I think it's a recent joke about Zoom, the company who made everybody working remote right now, asking people to get back to the offices. So in our case, when the COVID started, we went full remote, and when the war in Ukraine started, actually the company was prepared, so nothing changed for people. And right now, I think even in our offices outside Ukraine, people mostly work remote. But we have offices in each location, so people can come to the office. Usually, it's around, I would say, 20% office occupation, but we still believe that this is the thing that must be at the location, and people should come together and get to know each other, and you know talk about something related to the work, because it's really hard to keep the company culture remotely. It's possible, but if you were not created as a remote company, it's really hard to switch, and especially if you were created as a family company, everybody knows everybody and all these kind of things. So it's really hard.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, and I'm also a big fan of an office work, talking to my friends and colleagues, and so on and so on. But I guess we will never come back to 100% being an office business. It is rather the combination of working from home, from the office, or some other places.
Correct. We are not really pushing in that direction. We still try to observe what is people behavior and what are their wishes, trying to, let's say, encourage people to come to the office, but not using managerial tools.
As far as the job is done and it's secure, then it's fine. You private question. You mentioned you have 15 offices all around the world, where two of them are based in Poland. Which cities in Poland?
Well, as you mentioned previously, many companies started moving to Central Europe a long time ago. So that ELEKS did, and the first office we opened was in Rzeszów, because it was the the closest city not far from Lviv. And recently, when the war started, we rapidly expanded our second location, which is Krakow.
Krakow is the most popular outsourcing destination in Poland. I don't know if you know.
Yes, yes, we know, and we feel that.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it's quite close to Rzeszów, which you mentioned as the first city, because it's like, I don't know, 80 kilometers maybe between the cities.
Well, usually I think it's 2 hours from the border.
Yeah, 2 hours from the border on a highway.
Correct. On the highway.
Okay, Ruslan, thank you very much. If somebody wanted to know more about Alex, where you would direct such person?
Well, I think the easiest would be, of course, our website. That's the one thing. Also, around the website, we have our blog, where we describe some technologies we've been using, or some researches we've been doing, you know. And if somebody wants to know something else behind Alex, they can watch again the such movies like Spider-Man, because the technology behind that movie was developed by Alex. So
My son would love that. He's a big fan of Spider-Man. Anyway, Ruslan, thank you very much for this talk. I will make sure to put the links to the pages and to the blog, which you mentioned just a second ago, in the description of our today's episode, just to allow people to find out more about who Alex is. I put down the note here: the technology doesn't matter, we do. That's a very nice motto.
sure.
Thank you very much, Ruslan, for today, and all the best.
Thank you, Victor. Was nice to talk to you.